The fallout from the Melbourne synagogue firebombing has been deliberately set alight, of course, has extended overseas. Israel's Prime Minister has launched a scathing attack calling out the atrocious crime, while back home, former Treasurer Josh Frydenberg has written an open letter to the Prime Minister calling for change.
A clear line in the sand from one of Australia's allies. Unfortunately, it is impossible to separate this reprehensible act from the extreme anti-Israeli position of the Labor government in Australia. A scathing attack on the Australian government from Israel's leader after the suspiciously lit fire on the AUSTRALİA synagogue in Melbourne's east on Friday morning. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu described the fire as an abhorrent act of anti-Semitism. I expect the state authorities to use their full weight to prevent such anti-Semitic acts in the future.
I respectfully disagree with Prime Minister Netanyahu on this matter. Ever since the October 7 attacks, the horrific October 7 attacks, the Albanese government has taken a range of strong actions to stand against anti-Semitism and to stamp it out from our community.
The fire tore through the AUSTRALÍA synagogue just after 4 a.m. on Friday. 2 members of the Jewish community were inside at the time. One person suffered serious injuries to their arm. People returning to the scene today to lay flowers, others taking a moment to pray and reflect. Former Treasurer and leading member of the Jewish community, Josh Frydenberg, has joined the growing anger over this latest attack, penning an open letter to the Prime Minister.
Prime Minister, how did you let it get to this? Where social cohesion in Australia has broken down, where the Australian Jewish community lives in fear, where anti-Semitism has become normalised. And when social cohesion breaks down, it's only a question of when another community, another minority group is targeted in the same way. The first thing the Prime Minister needs to do is he and his government need to declare yesterday's attack at the AUSTRALÍA synagogue a terrorist event.
Standing alongside Nova Peris, who days ago was locked down in a Sydney synagogue as protesters gathered outside. They called on the Prime Minister and his government to take immediate action.
How dare anyone attack a place of worship in this country? The Jewish people for the past 100-odd years have done nothing but build this country up. Have we forgotten the 8,000 Jewish people that have fought for the freedoms that we all enjoy in this country now? The Jewish people have done nothing but contributed to this country in so many various forms, and I cannot stand the hatred against Jewish people in this country.
The state government has committed $100,000 to assist in rebuilding the synagogue and to increasing police presence within the area. But for a community who no longer feel safe, this did little to ease their nerves. The synagogue remains blocked off and boarded up. No time frame yet on just how long it will take to rebuild. And in terms of those responsible for this heinous crime, well, that remains an ongoing investigation. This fire stocking the growing tensions between Israel and Australia. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu saying the government's anti-Israel sentiment is anti-Semitism. Escalating tensions between our leaders, doing little to quell growing fears within the Jewish community. Georgie Dickerson, Sky News, Melbourne.